Okay, I'm going to try and show you how to label the views. This looks great, but when I turn on the frames, this red box is coming all the way down here. And when I have top active, this is highlighting as if it's in the top view and not the primary view. In fact, it is. So we can't do that way. You got to be careful. Do you remember me talking about this earlier on the datums, what we have to do first? I'm going to delete this text. If I want to create that primary view in this view, before I start creating text, step number one is to click the front view and make it active. Now that it's active, I can go to annotation and insert a text. At that location, I'll type in -2 primary. Then I'll hit Shift Enter to do a scale. (1:1 for 1:1 ratio. Okay, so you got the -2 primary. The -2 comes from this right here. Oh, this should be the -1. Just the -1 or the -2? Well, whatever part number you have. If this said -2 here, then you put -2 over here. Okay, in this case it says -1. So my primary view should be the -1. Now the primary text is actually a title. So I want the primary text to be bigger than the scale 1:1. So the trick here is I try and highlight it here and go right click in properties. And this height here should be twice whatever this is. So I'm going to select 7 and say apply. To me it looks a little big, so I'm going to go to 5 and hit apply. I'm just going to go with that. And then I want to show you another trick here. This has got to be center justified. So we're going to turn on our app by doing a right click, display options. I'm sorry. Object properties. And right here, we can do center justified. And the idea is this text would go here in the center, right about the center, which I just happen to be pretty close. If you're moving this and it's jumping a lot, try holding your shift button down and then try and shift it around and see if it won't jump so much. Okay. Now, the most common mistake I see people is make the copy paste and they put it over here, but you got to make sure it's in that view. So what I could do is copy this, activate this. Now it didn't kick in. I clicked that line, but it didn't kick in. The highlights right, didn't kick in. Until that box is red, I know it's not in. So now I got that box red. Let's go to text and insert, paste that text. And what I can do here is change the primary to principal. Oops, and then we gotta highlight this top line. I swear I found this before where I could change that text height right here. Actually there, I think that's it right there. Point, no, I don't think that's it. Yeah, that's not it. So while I'm here, I'm just gonna see if I can center justify this. Select OK. Didn't work. So I'm going to highlight this, right click here and go to properties. Change that to 5. Select OK, and then see if I can't get this to center justified. Looks like I got to just pick on it, and then I can go to center justified. And this should be right in the middle of the part down below. If you can, you line these two up, but I don't want to get it too far away, so be careful for that. But it is kind of nice to have these lined up. Try and make everything clean, as aesthetic as you can. We'll make this the active view. Go to text. We'll put text here and paste that same text. Oh, I should have copied the other one. Principal view on the top. Okay. Some people like to do this. Literally name it top principal view, which is fine. I'm good either way. You could name this side principal view. You could leave that primary or put front in there. It's a little hard for me because I look at this part and I feel like that's the side and this is the front. That's why I just go by primary and principal. Another thing common is a top view is also known as a plan view a lot of times because you can see a lot of definition. So top view and plan view may be placed here. We'll go back to this and center justify it. And we'll have to see, I have a hard time highlighting this sometimes in here. So I can highlight it down here, get that same effect. Then go to properties and we'll jack this up to 5. Oh, God, I misspelled that. Did I misspell that down here too? That's why I like copy paste, so I don't do mistakes like that. Okay, now the isometric view is a little different. One thing nice is it's already got text in there for me, which is amazing because I click on the text and the view doesn't become active. But if I move this, that text does know to follow. It's kind of weird how when I double click that, it should just go into that view. Just for safety reasons, I'm just going to pop into that. And this is -1 isometric view. Shift enter, engineering reference only. Shift enter, scale, colon, whoops, colon, none. I'm going to highlight the isometric view. Shoot. Go to properties and jack that size up for the title. And it looks like it's already center justified. And I'll move this over here a little bit and we'll turn the frame off. Whoops, this got to be moved over. Okay, that should be in the center in line with these. Okay. The reason why this is scale none, even though I created it at scale 1 to 1, is that all the lines here are foreshortened. So if I were to measure this line, it's not truly going to be 2 inches long because it's in the ISO view. That's why we have to have these as reference callouts. All of these got to be referenced by using parentheses or the word reference. I don't care which one you use. You pick. You just got to make sure it's called off, okay? We do say engineering reference only again to reiterate, hey, this view is just a pretty cartoon to give the shop visualization as to what this part looks like. And that's all we're doing is trying to give them a visual aid. So that concludes entering the titles. The next thing we'll do is label the part.